Hi, Awesomes. How you doing? Welcome to our next video this week. It's week 7 here. Now we're going to talk about the writer's guide. I'm still teasing out some of the specific articles that I wanted to share and kind of go over with you this week. And this one is the second one this week. We talked about formatting, and this is going to kind of apply these to really kind of go together. There's some things that are kind of repeated in the a lot of times we find things that are repeated in several even instruction guides that we're reading on how to do stuff or whatever. It kind of lets us know, okay, there must be a point to that, right? Something that they really, really, really want to make sure that they get across to us. And so one thing I do want to point out here in their introduction to the writer's guide. Now, the writer's guide, while it's still set up a lot like a WikiHow in a way. This is more of a writer's guide as opposed to a how-to. So it's the formatting looks a little different. There's still steps. There's still some things kind of going on here, but it's not like excuse me. It's not like the formatting guide where you have a shorter introduction, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and boom, boom, boom. Right. This is formatted a little differently because it's serving a different purpose as opposed to because this is a writer's guide as opposed to a how-to. So I just want to make that clear. I like this part here. They say our overall goal with WikiHow writing is to provide skimmable information that readers can quickly understand while simultaneously creating rich, informative articles for more patient users. Right. So there is this kind of balance, but we do want to think about someone can skim down really, really quickly and get a sense. That's one of their selling points, for WikiHow, and that's why they have the formatting set up the way that they have it. So if you do have a topic that you put up there, you want them to be able to, when they get to the steps, say, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, right? And then, of course, too, each one will have a graphic with it, right, or a picture, and so they'll be able to kind of like really be able to visualize it and see it really, really, really quickly, um, and see if it's right for them, and that's a good thing. Okay, so uh, obviously, you'll start with an introduction. So it's a place where the reader decides whether those delicious looking chocolate chip cookies sound good enough to make. Right. This is where you kind of like grab their attention maybe a little bit and a little bit of explanation as far as to not only what they're going to produce, but maybe why. Right. Those these your particular chocolate chip cookies are worth stopping and reading. Right. Um, so we then you kind of jump right into the steps, if you will. Um, again, it's telling us here again, right, to begin each step with an action oriented or an action verb. Put 2 cups of water into the saucepan. Um, and I like this avoiding thing right here in this bullet point here. Avoid steps with the transitional words like next, additionally, but, if, unless they're just absolutely necessary. So I think we read a little bit about that. They address that too. And on the formatting guide is to avoid these transitional words. It's just each step, just do this, boom, little explanation, boom, do this, here's the picture, boom, do this, here's the picture. Now there might be some extra things that need to be addressed, right? When you need like the bullet points, and we'll look at those here in a second. Avoid using the first person, right? This one was I'm usually not a big fan of avoiding first person, but in instructions, it is one of those third person. It's actually more of a second person. Avoid using the first person. Um, and then, okay, so organize the steps for easy reading. Use your sub steps, right? These the bulleted guys as a supporting cast. Use them sparingly, right? If every single one of your steps needs to have 4 or 5 sub bullet points to over explain something, that we might need to think about either adding steps or maybe it needs to be set up in parts. That'll be a good clue for you as you're putting it together. Avoid referring to other steps. Okay. Instead, just say repeat the rinsing process, like in this particular one, as opposed to then, because if you're down at number 9 and they got to repeat something from step 1, they have, instead of making them scroll all the way up, just say repeat the rinsing process, and then describe the rinsing process. Avoid generic steps, and then of course, before your writing guide, as you're doing a review for mistakes, make sure that each sections are in the proper order. And of course, we're going to do a lot of that as we go along the way. All right, those are the big things to think about and keep in mind as you guys start to draft, and then as you even start to put these together. All right, guys. I'll see you very soon. Bye. Have a great week. Stay safe. Stay awesome.